So, anyways, we're up to 100 BC, since the Second World Age and Heaven Age has been established. And so we have very interesting events taking place. In Scripture, prophecy being fulfilled, the migrations of the 8th day and 6th day creation around the world. Even some of the 8th day creation may migrate back to certain areas. But the migrations and the mixing and all that kind of stuff happen slowly and gradually. So it took a long, long time to get to where we're at with the migrations and all that kind of stuff. You can be a descendant of the 8th day creation and not be an Israelite. And so, what we see Daniel's prophecy being fulfilled that we read in Daniel chapter 2 about the kingdoms, these empires, look in a certain way. We see history being fulfilled in Scripture here. Medes and Persians, Syria, Babylonia. Wow. Israel's doing its thing. The 6th day creation is doing its thing. Migration, mixing. God's spreading His seed throughout the world because He said He's going to make His descendants numberless like the stars. Migrations of the 8th day and 6th day creation. It wasn't until the New Testament came along that the Gentiles, the descendants of the 6th day creation, and non-Israelites are incorporated in the covenant of grace under the second dispensation of the covenant of grace. And Daniel chapter 2 talks about that. Daniel chapter 3. Chapter 7, the fourth beast. Fourth beast, of course, being, anyways, chapter 8, 9, 10, 11, even 12. And also in these chapters, other prophecies taking place, going on around the world. Migration, the persecution, the tribulation of the Jews under Antiochus, and the Jews being delivered from under Maccabeus, and the Roman Empire, persecution there, and the destruction of the temple in 70 AD in Jerusalem, the scattering and regathering the 8th and 6th day creation to Himself through the systematic preaching and teaching of the Word of God, the world slowly and gradually being Christianized.
199. Antiochus of Syria took Sidon. Scipas of Egypt retook Judea. 198. Antiochus of Syria attacked the Egyptian possessions in Cilicia, Syria and Palestine. Attalus of Pergamos asked Rome for aid. Egypt was defeated at Panias. 197. Antiochus of Syria occupied Ephesus. Philip of Macedonia was defeated at Scotassa and escaped to Larissa. Peace between Rome and Macedonia. 196. Antiochus invaded Thrace. Incubus was defeated. Hannibal began democratic reforms at Carthage. 195. High priest Simon died, succeeded by Onias III. Rome established Berber chief Maecenas in the Numidian kingdom for 60 years. Peace between Syria and Egypt. Hannibal joined Antiochus at Ephesus. Cato was sent to Spain. 194. Flamininus withdrew the Roman troops from Greece. The Lusitani War with Rome. 193. Ptolemy the Epiphanes married Cleopatra, daughter of Antiochus. The Celts were subdued. Maecenas raided Carthage. 192. The Syrian fleet was defeated off Corycus. Rome declared war on Syria. The Spartans joined the Achaean League. 191. Antiochus, defeated by the Romans at Thermopylae, fled to Ephesus. 190. Scipio Asiaticus defeated the Syrian fleet at Sidon by Onisus. 189. The Aetolian League ended. Peace between Rome and Aetolia. Antiochus of Syria was defeated at Magnesia. 188. The Treaty of Apamea. 187. Antiochus of Syria was slain while plundering the temple of Bel at Hermes and was succeeded by Seleucus IV Philopator, the second Roman evacuation of Greece. 185. Demetrius of Bactria took the Punjab. 184. Cato the Elder became a censor in Rome. 183. Aquileia was founded to close the gates of the Alps. Hannibal was compelled by the Romans to take poison and died at age 67. Publius Scipio died. The Messenians revolted against the Achaeans. War between Pontus and Pergamon. 182. Berber chief Maecenas raided Carthage again. 181. Ptolemy the Epiphanes was poisoned and was succeeded by his son, Ptolemy by Philometor in Egypt. Philip made an expedition to the Balkans. Quintus Fulvius Flaccus ruled Spain. 179. Philip V died, succeeded by Perseus in Macedonia. 177. The Latins were expelled from Rome. The fortress of Luna was established. 175. Seleucus IV Philopator was murdered and Antiochus IV Epiphanes ruled the Seleucid Empire. 173. High priest Tundios III was deposed by Antiochus IV and replaced by Jason. 172. Rome declared war on Greece. 171. High priest Jason was replaced by Menelaus for robbing the temple treasury. Mithridates ascended the Parthian throne. Antiochus IV invaded Egypt. War between Rome and Perseus of Macedonia. 170. The Septuagint translation was completed in Egypt. Jason led an attack against Jerusalem. Antiochus IV plundered the temple at Jerusalem and killed 40,000 Jews. 169. Philippus marched into Macedonia. Rome intervened in the Syrian invasion of Egypt. 168. The Jerusalem temple was desecrated by Antiochus IV on December 25th. Roman general Lucius Aemilius Paulus subdued Macedonia at Pydna. Perseus was taken captive. Jerusalem was occupied by armed forces. Ptolemy VII Leos Philopator became joint ruler of Egypt with his brother, Ptolemy by Philometor. 167. Priest Mattathias led a Jewish revolt against Antiochus IV. Perseus died and the Antigonid dynasty ended. Macedonia and Illyria were divided into protectorates. 1,000 Achaeans were deported to Italy, including Polybius the historian. 166. priest Judas ben Mattathias died, succeeded by his son, Judas Maccabeus. Judas defeated Apollonius, governor of Judea. 165. The Jerusalem temple was purified and rededicated by Judas Maccabeus on December 25th. 164. The Jewish priests Anias changed the Egyptian temple of Heliopolis into a Jewish temple. Antiochus IV Epiphanes died, succeeded by Antiochus V. Eupator, age 9, in Syria. 163. High priest Menelaus was slain, succeeded by Alcimus. 162. Lysias took Jerusalem. Demetrius Isota ruled Syria. 161. Truce between Rome and Syria. Cato was sent by Rome to settle a dispute between the Numidian king and Carthage. Mithridates I of Parthia seized Media. 160. Judas Maccabeus was killed in battle. His brother, Jonathan, became the Jewish leader. High priest Alcimus died. Eumenes II died and Attalus II ruled Pergamum. 158. Jonathan Maccabeus of Israel and Bacchides of Syria made peace. 157. Judea became an independent state. Rome campaigned in Dalmatia. 155. Priest Onias was given permission to build the Jewish temple of Heliopolis in Egypt. 154. Lusitania invaded Spain. Rome was at war.
So here we are, we're talking the 40 weeks of hell we see in here going on because the temple was desecrated by a pig. And anyways, this is what took place. And of course Hanukkah was invented, of course then Rome took over.
Maecenas appealed to Rome to arbitrate with Carthage. 153. Jonathan Maccabeus was made high priest in Jerusalem. Father Spain was defeated. Rome was defeated by the Celtiberians. Demetrius I was slain, succeeded by Alexander I Valus. January 1st became the first day of Rome's civil year. 152. Carthage declared war on Rome. 151. Marcus Claudius Marcellus terminated the Celtiberian War. Carthage declared war on Maecenas. 150. The monastic order of the Essence cult was organized. Carthage was defeated. 149. Maecenas died. Rome won the Fourth Macedonian War. The Third Punic War started. Rome intervened on behalf of Carthage. 148. Nicator contested for the Syrian throne. Viriathus ruled Lusitania. 147. The siege of Carthage. The Parthians took Babylonia. 146. Carthage was destroyed. War between Rome and the Achaeans. 145. The Pharisees and the Sadducees appeared as separate parties in Judea. Alexander I Valus of Syria was slain, succeeded by Demetrius II Nicator. Ptolemy Philometor died and Ptolemy VII became sole ruler in Egypt for a short time, followed by Ptolemy VIII Euergetes II, Physcon. 144. Antiochus, son of Valus, overthrew Nicator in Syria, but was slain by Tryphon, who ruled Syria. 143. The 170-year Syrian servitude ended. The Numantine War. 142. High priest Jonathan Maccabeus was killed by Syrian general Trypho, and was succeeded by his brother Simon Maccabeus in Judea, who founded the Hasmonean dynasty. 141. Syria withdrew from Jerusalem. Mithridates I of Parthia captured Babylon. 140. Demetrius II defeated Mithridates I of Parthia. The Greek marble statue of Venus de Milo, discovered in AD 1820 on the island of Melos, was sculptured. 139. Demetrius II was defeated and captured by the Parthians. Attalus II of Pergamum died, succeeded by Attalus III. 138. Tryphon of Syria died, succeeded by Antiochus VII Cyzites. 135. The First Sicilian Slave War against Rome. 134. High priest Simon Macabus and 2 of his sons were slain by his son-in-law. John Hyrcanus I, son of Simon, became high priest. Tiberius was elected tribune in Rome. Syrian power was restored in Judea. 133. Scipio Emilianus subdued the new Manteans. Gracchus died. Attalus III of Pergamum died. Rome made Pergamum a Roman protectorate. Antiochus of Syria occupied Jerusalem. 132. Rupilius of Rome won victory in the Sicilian Slave War. 131. Civil war in Egypt made Cleopatra II the sole ruler. 130. John Hyrcanus conquered Idumea. Antiochus died in battle with the Parthians under Demetrius. 129. John Hyrcanus conquered Mogonsa.
So now we are in the period of time around that about with Julius Caesar and his infatuation with Cleopatra.
And destroyed the Sumerian temple. Physcon was restored to power in Egypt. Demetrius ruled the Parthians. 128. Alexander II Zarbinas ruled Syria. 126. Demetrius of Syria was slain. 125. Antiochus VIII Grypus, son of Demetrius II, ruled Syria. 124. War in Gaul against the Arvernian Allobroges. Mithridates II the Great consolidated Parthia. 123. Caius Gracchus was elected tribune in Rome. Rome colonized Africa. 121. Mithridates Theopontus died. Rome defeated the Arvernian Allobroges. 118. The colony of Narbo was founded. Caius Gracchus died. Ptolemy Physcon and Cleopatra II reconciled in Egypt. 117. The death of Hiempsal. 116. Ptolemy Physcon died, succeeded by Ptolemy IX II Lathyrus in Egypt. Syrians separated from Egypt. Jugurtha rose to power in Africa. 115. Mithridates seized power in Pontus. 112. Rome declared war on Jugurtha and the Numidians in Africa. 111. War between Rome and the Numidians. Antiochus VIII divided Syria with his half-brother Antiochus IX. 110. Believed to rule Britain. 108. Ptolemy Alexander ruled Egypt. Korea came under Chinese control. 107. High priest John Hyrcanus died, succeeded by Aristobulus I. Gaius Marius became consul in Rome. 106. High priest Aristobulus I died, succeeded by Alexander Jannaeus. The Romans captured Jugurtha. Marcus Tullius Cicero was born. 105. The Numidian kingdom was divided. The Celts defeated the Romans at the Rhone River. 104. Publius Nerva of Sicily held court in Syracuse regarding freedom of slaves. The Second Sicilian Slave War. Emperor Wu Ti's Chinese forces reached the outposts of Western culture. 103. High priest Alexander Jannaeus assumed the title of King of Judea. 102. Gaius Julius Caesar was born. Ascanius was sole ruler of Sicily. Masrius defeated the Teutoni. 3,000 were slain at Aix and Milan. 101. The Battle of Vercelli ended the invasion by Germanic peoples. Marius and Catulus defeated the Cimbri. Eupator occupied Galatia. 100. The apocryphal book, Wisdom of Solomon, was composed by a Hellenistic Jew in Egypt. Riots in Rome. Marius restored order. Mithridates occupied Cappadocia. The Latin people of Europe invaded England. 99. The Romans won the Second Servile War in Sicily. 98. Marius put down a revolt in Spain. 96. Antiochus VIII was murdered. Antiochus IX was killed in battle. Seleucus by Epiphanes Nicator ruled Syria. Ptolemy Apion of Egypt died. Rome took Cyrene. 95. Marcus Porcius Cato was born. Rome replaced Mithridates with Ariobarzanes in Cappadocia. Tigranes ruled Armenia. Antiochus Exusus Philopator ruled Syria. 94. Nicomedes II of Bithynia died. 93. Tigranes drove Ariobarzanes from Cappadocia. 92. Sulla restored Ariobarzanes in Cappadocia. Antiochus XI Philadelphus ruled Syria, followed by Philippus I Philadelphus as co-regents with Demetrius III Eucharos Philopator Sota. 91. Senator Lucius Crassus died. Drusus was assassinated. The social war began. Rome was defeated at Tusculum. 90. Consul Lucius Julius Caesar granted Roman citizenship to all Italians. 89. War was declared against Mithridates by Eupator of Pontus. 88. Phanuel, husband of Anna the prophetess, died. Mithridates overran Asia Minor, joined by Athens. Civil war in Rome. Sulla occupied Rome. Ptolemy Alexander was killed and Ptolemy IX was restored in Egypt. 87. Antiochus XII Dionysus ruled Syria. Lucius, Cornelius Sylla and Marius were in power. Massacre in Rome. Sulla invaded Greece. Sumatian compiled the first comprehensive history of China. 86. The Roman Fimbria defeated Mithridates at Pergamus. The Romans took Athens. 85. The kingdom of Nabat was extended to Damascus. 84. Cinna was assassinated. The Romans took Ephesus. Sulla subdued Mithridates by 83. Murena warred against Mithridates. Sulla landed at Brundisium and advanced to Campania in Italy. 82. Murena was driven from Cappadocia. Sulla marched to Rome, destroyed the constitution, restored the rule of the Senate, and declared himself dictator. Louis Pompeius, Pompey, was sent to Sicily. 81. Pompey proceeded to Africa. 80. Ptolemy XI Alexander II was assassinated, succeeded by Ptolemy XII Auletes in Egypt. 79. Sulla retired from dictatorship in Rome. 78. Sulla died. Marcus Aemilius Lepidus was elected consul. 77. Pompey went to Spain to crush a revolt. 76. High priest Alexander Janna Astidens John Hyrcanus was appointed to the office, but Alexander's wife, Salome Alexandra, took it. 75. Nicomedes III of Bithynia died, bequeathing his kingdom to Rome. 74. Mithridates declared war on Rome and invaded Bithynia. Cyrene became a Roman province. 73. The Romans closed the Jewish temple at Heliopolis in Egypt. Gladiators, led by Crixus, Enemos and Spartacus, broke out of the school at Capua and fled to Mount Vesuvius. 72. Spartacus defeated the Romans. Crassus crucified 6,000 slaves, lining the road from Capua to Rome with their bodies. The Roman Licinius defeated Bessi and Dardani. Papua was defeated. Pompey crushed the revolt in Spain. 71. Pompey returned to Rome from Spain. Licinius routed Mithridates. Crassus crushed Spartacus's army. 70. The first consulship of Marcus Licinius Crassus and Louis Pompeius, Pompey. Publius Virginius Muro, Virgil, the Roman poet, was born. Blood ruled Britain. 69. Antiochus XIII Asiaticus ruled Syria. Licinius invaded Armenia. 67. High priestess Salome Alexandra died and the struggle between John Hyrcanus II and Aristobulus II erupted over the high priest's office. As for Aristobulus I, Mithridates and Tigranes kingdoms were restored to them. Rome annexed Crete and Cyrene. 66. Pompey took command of the Roman legions from Lucullus. Thrates III of Parthia attacked Tigranes. Mithridates was defeated. 65. Mithridates via Pontus killed himself. Philippus II ruled Syria. Pompey warred against Tiberian Albani and annexed Bithynia. 64. Pompey took Antioch, ending the Seleucid monarchy. He regulated the affairs of the Bedouins, Jews and Nabateans in Syria. Julius Caesar made himself head of the state. 63. Pompey took Jerusalem and the Hasmonean power ended. Syria was annexed as a Roman province. Keys Julius Caesar Octavianus, surnamed Augustus, was born. 62. John Hyrcanus II was made high priest and ruler in Judea, Galilee, Samaria and Pharaoh by Pompey. Julius Caesar was made praetor in Rome. Bithynia, Cilicia and Crete came under Roman dominion. 61. Julius Caesar was made governor of Spain. 60. A triumvirate was formed to rule Rome, consisting of Gaius Julius Caesar, Marcus Crassus and Gnaeus Pompeius. 59. Julius Caesar was made consul in Rome on March 1st. Cassius ruled Britain. 58. Julius Caesar was made governor of the Gauls. Cyprus was annexed. Ptolemy XII Auletes was driven from Egypt. 57. Roman general Garbinius defeated Alexander, son of Aristobulus. Civil war in Parthia between Mithridates III and those two. Caesar defeated Belgians Nervii. Crassus was in Normandy. Riots in Rome between Clodius and Milo. 56. Ptolemy XI Auletes was restored to power in Egypt by Aulus Garbinius. Caesar campaigned against Veneti and Morini, conquering Brittany and southwest Gaul. 55. Pompey and Caesar ruled jointly. Caesar sailed to Britain with 5 legions and 2,000 cavalry. Alexander revolted again. 54. Mithridates III was executed. Bios II of Pontus. Caesar made a second expedition to Britain. Crassus ruled Syria. Pompey ruled Spain. 53. Marcus Crassus died at Carrhae in Mesopotamia at the hands of the Parthians. 52. Caesar was successful in subduing Gaul. 51. Ptolemy XII Auletes died in Egypt, succeeded by his daughter, Cleopatra VII, who married her 2 brothers, Ptolemy XIV and Ptolemy XV. The Parthians invaded Syria. 50. Caesar liberated Aristobulus, who was later poisoned, and Scipio became president of Syria. Caesar organized Gaul. 49. Civil war in both Egypt and Rome. Caesar crossed the Rubicon into Italy and was declared dictator. Pompey was defeated and left for Africa. 48. Caesar was invested with tribunician power for life. Pompey was stabbed in the back by Lucius Sertilius in Egypt. Caesar toured Africa, fought the Alexandrine War and established Cleopatra VII and Ptolemy XIII in Egypt. Cleopatra became Caesar's mistress. 47. Herod Antipater was appointed procurator of Judea by Caesar. Herod's son, Pharsalus, was made governor of Jerusalem, and Herod was made governor of Galilee. Julius Caesar was proclaimed dictator of the world, and Sextus Caesar was made president of Syria. 46. The Battle of Thapsus. Caesar was in Spain. Cato the Younger committed suicide. 45. The first leap year. The beginning of the year was changed from March 1st to January 1st. The new calendar was called the Julian calendar. Caesar returned from Spain and adopted his nephew Gaius Octavius as his heir. Ptolemy 16, son of Cleopatra by Julius Caesar, ruled Egypt with his mother. 44. Antipater and Hyrcanus were authorized to repair the Jerusalem walls. Julius Caesar was slain by Marcus Junius Brutus and Gaius Cassius. The image of Caesar's head first appeared on coins. 43. Procurator Herod Antipater the Idumean was poisoned by the Sadducees. Rome was ruled by its second triumvirate composed of Antony, Octavius and Lepidus. 42. Antigonus rebelled and was defeated by Herod. Herod and Pharsalus were appointed tetrarchs of Judea by Mark Antony. 41. Antony met Cleopatra at Tarsus and visited Alexandria. 40. King Parthia of Babylon invaded Judea. Herod fled to Rome where he was made king of Judea by the Roman Senate. Antigonus Mattathias was made high priest. Pharsalus was captured and committed suicide. Antonius surrendered Perusia to Octavian. Antony married Octavia. Tenuantius ruled Britain. 39. Agrippa campaigned in Gaul. 38. Herod married Mariamne, the Maccabean granddaughter of former high priest Hyrcanus II. Mark Antony returns to Egypt. 37. Herod conquered Jerusalem. All the Jewish Sanhedrin were slain except 2. Antigonus Mattathias was executed and Aristobulus III was made high priest. Work was begun to restore the temple. Mark Antony married Cleopatra, 7th Antioch. 36. Lepidus ceased as triumvir. 35. Herod executed Aristobulus III and made Jesus, son of Thearbe, the high priest. Sextus Pompeius was killed in Asia by Titius. 34. Octavian made Dalmatia a Roman province. Antony invaded Armenia. 33. Bocchus died. 32. Antony divorced Octavia. Antony and Cleopatra were in Ephesus. 31. A great earthquake in Judea. Antony and Cleopatra were defeated by Octavian in Greece at the Battle of Actium. 30. Antony and Cleopatra committed suicide at Actium. Egypt became a Roman province as Octavian entered Alexandria. Thrace captured Media. Crassus was in the Balkans. 29. Herod was called before Octavian for murdering his uncle Joseph. Herod killed his wife Mariamne. The Roman Senate granted Octavian the privilege of appointing any number of priests. He closed the temple of Janus. Timlin ruled Britain. 28. Herod killed Alexandra, the last of the Hasmoneans. 27. Octavian assumed the title of Emperor Augustus Caesar, and the Roman Republic was replaced by the Roman Empire. Augustus was in Gaul and Spain. 26. Pontius Pilate was appointed procurator of Judea. Gallus committed suicide. 25. Marcellus married Julia. Rome annexed Pamphylia, Pisidia, Laconia and Galatia. 24. Ethiopia invaded Egypt. 23. Augustus resigned the consulship. Agrippa was made vice-regent of the East. Marcellus died. 22. Simon, son of Boethus, became high priest. Augustus was in Greece and Asia. 21. Agrippa and Julia married. 20. Herod began reconstruction of the Jerusalem temple. Hillel led the Pharisees. Augustus gave Caesarea Philippi, Paenis, to Herod's jurisdiction. Tiberius entered Armenia and made Tiberius king. Agrippa quelled revolts in Gaul and Spain. 16. Agrippa was sent to the east. Augustus was in Gaul and Germany. 15. Agrippa visited Jerusalem. 13. Lepidus died. Tiberius became consul. 12. Agrippa died. Augustus became Pontifex Maximus. Drusus campaigned in Germany. 11. Herod named his son Antipater as his successor. Tiberius and Julia married. 10. Caesarea was inaugurated by Herod. 9. Drusus died. Herod invaded Nabatea. Titus Livius finished his history of Rome. 8. The census decree of Caesar Augustus. Horace died. Palermo was captured and executed. 7. Herod slew his and Mariamne's sons Alexander and Aristobulus. Zacharias was high priest. Rome was divided into 14 regions. 6. The Annunciation to Mary in Nazareth. John the Baptist was born in September to Zacharias and Elizabeth. Judea became a sub-province of Syria. Tiberius retired to Rhodes. Tigranes too died. Armenia revolted. Paphlagonia was added to Galatia. 5. Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem in April. Matthias, son of Theophilus, became high priest, succeeded the same year by Joseph, son of Elam. 4. Wise men from the east sought the child Jesus. Herod the Great killed the children of Bethlehem and executed his son Antipater a few days before he died in March at Jericho. He was succeeded by Herod Antipas in Galilee. Herod Archelaus ruled Judea. Herod Philip ruled Iturea. Joatta, son of Boethus, became high priest, but Archelaus appointed Eleazar to the high priest's office. 2. King Francis of Parthia was assassinated, succeeded by Phraates. Augustus began his 13th consulship. Julia was exiled.
unfolding plan of redemption taking place slowly and gradually, which was, you might say, planned when the fall happened. The migrations of the 8th day creation and 6th day creation are taking place. There's mixing, there's all kinds of stuff changing, and now Rome is becoming an empire. And like I said, really, Julius Caesar was the original emperor, but he didn't get that title because he died before that. Then it was the next guy that used it. And Jesus Christ, born in Bethlehem, all these different things taking place, and at some point in time, Jesus' great uncle Joseph of Arimathea will take Jesus and Mary to Glastonbury, England, where he's a rich man, a tin miner, and respected high priest. And then Jesus Christ will show up on the scene when it's time for his ministry to begin. See, God slowly and gradually fulfilling his prophecy, like he said in the Old New Testament. So now we took a brief history in the Old Testament. We already looked at the 1 AD. So now we're going to jump to 100 AD.
The Greeks. 129. The Greek physician Galen was born. Hadrian made the 7 Tumas the provinces. 130. Hadrian founded Antinopolis. 131. Salvius Julian US formulated Praetor's edict, which became the sole source of Roman law. 132. Another Jewish uprising led by Simon ben Kochva liberated Judea. He presented himself as the Messiah. 133. Justin Martyr was converted to Christianity. Bagalides became the religious leader in Alexandria, Egypt. 134. Parthia was invaded by the Alani. Antoninus was proconsul of Asia. 135. The Epistle of Barnabas was written at Alexandria, Egypt. Jerusalem was razed, and the Jews dispersed. Jewish history ended. Jerusalem was renamed Aelia Capitolina, and made a Roman colony. The temple of Jupiter Capitolinus was erected on the temple site, with an equestrian statue of Emperor Hadrian. The Pantheon was rebuilt. The Arch of Hadrian was built in Athens. 138. Marcion left Pontus for Rome, and founded the Gnostic Church, with 2 gods, the Old Testament evil one, and the New Testament good one, Charity. Hadrian died, succeeded by Antonius Pius. 140. Marcion formed the first New Testament canon, which included only 10 of Paul's epistles. 144. Marcion founded the Marcionite Church in Asia Minor. 150. Polycarp organized the Sparta Church, at the foot of the Tiber, of which Tertullian was a member. Theophilus, Bishop of Antioch, first made use of the word Trinity. Hermas wrote the Shepherd of Hermas. Justin Martyr wrote the Apology to the Emperor. Clement was born in Athens. 155. Polycarp, Bishop of Smyrna, was stabbed and burned at the stake. The Christian heresy of Montanism emerged in Phrygia. A Latin translation of the Bible was made from the Greek version. 160. Quintus Septimus Florens Tertullian was born at Carthage. 161. Marcus Aurelius began his reign as emperor, with Lucius Aurelius Verus as co-emperor to 169. 164. The Great Plague in Rome. 165. Justin Martyr was killed in Rome. 18. Authored the Diatessaron, the Harmony of the Four Gospels. 167. The Wars of the Marcomannian Quadi. 170. Lucian wrote a satire on Christians and their faith. 175. The New Testament canon was substantially completed. 177. Pothinus, pastor at Lyons, was martyred. Athenagoras, professor of Athens, wrote supplications for the Christians. 179. The Church of St. Peter upon Cornhill was founded in London. 180. Irenaeus succeeded Pothinus as Bishop of Gaul. 20 New Testament books were accepted as canonical. James, 2 Peter, 2nd and 3rd John, Jude, Hebrews, and Revelation were still being considered. Theophilus of Antioch wrote Apology to Autolycus. Marcus Aurelius died at Vienna, succeeded by Lucius Commodus. The Romans were defeated in Scotland. 184. The revolt of the Yellow Turbans against the eunuchs of China. 185. Origines Adamantius, Origen, was born. 189. Victor I became pastor of the Rome Church. 119. Clement succeeded Vantinus at the school at Alexandria, Egypt, and wrote a dress. Xian became emperor of China. 192. Commodus was murdered, succeeded by Publius Helvius Tertianax, who was murdered by a praetorian guard. 193. Didius Severus Julianus ruled Rome, followed by Lucius Septimius Severus. 194. Septimius Severus defeated and killed his rival, Pescennius Niger, at Ephesus. 195. Praxeas visited Rome from Asia to prevent the recognition of the Montanus by the Roman bishop. Victor I Cyprian was born at Carthage. 196. Caracalla became co-emperor of Rome with Severus to 198. 197. Tertullian was converted to Christianity and wrote Apologeticus. Septimius Severus killed his rival, Septimius Albinus, at Lyons. 198. Septimius Severus won the Parthian War and reorganized Mesopotamia. 199. Zipporus succeeded Victor I as Bishop of Rome.
So now we, of course, things going on in history, obviously, Christianity in the woodworks, obviously, and like the scriptures said, that most of the known world at the time during Rome was Christianized, just like Jesus said, just like the Apostle John said in various places.
So when we hear about the Jewish history ending, just like God said would happen, doesn't mean that they were gone. We see changes taking place.
Alright, now we're at 200 AD.
200. Rabbi J.E.H.U.E.A.H. Chaim A.S.I. compiled the Mishnah. Later, the Gemara was added to become the Palestinian Talmud. Sabellius formulated a false doctrine of the Trinity, called Sabellianism, teaching that the Trinity was a manifestation of forms rather than of essence. There were not three persons in the Godhead, but three manifestations, denying separate personalities. Afghanistan was invaded by the Huns. 201. Victor I was killed. 202. Tertullian defended the Montanus. Irenaeus of Lyons was beheaded. Leo IX, father of Origen, was martyred. Clement of Alexandria fled. 203. Origines Adamantius, Origen, succeeded Clement at the school at Alexandria at the age of 80, serving to 231. 208. Severus campaigned in Britain and repaired the Hadrian Wall. 211. Severus died at York and Caracalla, his son, ruled Rome. 212. All three men in the Roman Empire were granted Roman citizenship. 213. Tertullian joined the Montanus. 215. Tertullian wrote on versus Praxen stating the doctrine of the Trinity. Clement died. 216. Caracalla annexed Armenia. Mani, founder of Manichaeism, was born in Persia. 217. Caracalla was slain by Marcimus, who succeeded him in CVITUS, Heliogabalus, priest of the Syrian sun god Adonis, was made emperor of Rome. 219. CALIXTUS succeeded Cyprimus as bishop of Rome. 220. Tertullian died. The Han Dynasty ended in China. The Goths invaded Asia Minor and the Balkans. 222. Urban I became bishop of Rome. 224. CALIXTUS, bishop of Rome, was martyred. 225. The Andhra dynasty in India ended as the Satakhani Empire collapsed. 226. The Parthian kingdom ended. The Sassanid dynasty founded a new Persian empire under Ardashir. 228. Origen was ordained a presbyter in Palestine by Alexander of Jerusalem and Theozetistus of Caesarea. 230. Origen wrote De Principiis. The earliest known public churches were built. 231. Origen was condemned by Demetrius at the Council of Alexandria. Origen founded a school at Caesarea. 232. Dionys succeeded Origen as head of the Alexandrian school. Urban I, bishop of Rome, was martyred. 235. Bishops Hippolytus and Piotia in US were transported to Sardinia, where they died in the mines. Severus Alexander was assassinated by his troops, and was succeeded by Anarchus Maximinus Thrax. 237. Zevinus, bishop of Antioch, died, and was succeeded by Babylas. 238. Maximinus was assassinated by his troops, and was succeeded by Gordian III. China seized northern Korea. 214. Origen composed the hexapla, a 6-volume compilation of the Hebrew Old Testament, and 5 Greek translations, Aquila, Semachos, Theodorian, the Septuagint, and a transliteration. Chapuri ruled Persia. 241. Shapuri invaded Mesopotamia, and started war with Rome. 242. Many the Persian founded the Manichaeism religion in Persia. The German alliance defeated Gordian near Philippopolis, and settled in Thrace. 243. Furious times Pythias drove the Persian forces from Antioch. 244. Philippus, the Arabian killed Gordian and ruled Rome. The Romans defeated the Persians in Mesopotamia. 246. Cyprian, a disciple of Tertullian, became a Christian. 247. Cyprian became bishop over North Africa. The Goths traded across the Danube River. 248. Cyprian became bishop of Carthage. 249. Philippus was killed in battle and Gaius Sentius Quintus ruled Rome. 250. Persecution of Christians was general and violent. Fabian, bishop of Rome, was martyred. Decius issued an edict demanding annual sacrifice on Roman altars to the emperor. Plotinus developed the religion of Neoplatonism and founded a school in Rome. 251. Decius ordered sacrifices to idols in the temple of Ephesus and was killed in Dacia. CVIDIUS Aphinius Trebonia in the US, Gallus and Hostilia in the US, son of Decius, were co-emperors of Rome, until Gallus killed Hostilia in the US. 253. Stephen, bishop of Rome, excommunicated the bishops of Asia Minor, calling them Anabaptists. Gallus was killed by his troops and Marcus Aemilia in US ruled Rome, followed by co-emperors Publius Licia and Iusbaleria in the US, and his son, Gallienus. 254. Origen died from torture in Alexandria. 256. The Franks, Goths, and Alemanni advanced into the Roman Empire. 257. Christians were commanded to conform to the state religion in Rome. The Goths invaded the Black Sea area, and the Franks invaded Spain. 258. Cyprian of Carthage and Sextus of Rome were martyred by Stephen I of Rome for rebaptizing. Emperor Valeria in the US issued a decree that put all Christian clergy in Rome to death. 259. Shapuri of Persia captured Emperor Valeria in the US in battle. He died in captivity and Gallienus became sole ruler. 260. Paul of Samosata was bishop of Antioch and became father of the Paulicians. Eusebius, the church's first real historian, was born. The Goths invaded Greece. Famine in Egypt. Macria in the US ruled Rome with Quietus as co-emperor. 261. Gallienus ruled Rome. 263. Othenathus of Palmyra defeated Syria and took Mesopotamia from Rome. 267. The Council of Laodicea ordered a reciting of the Creed at baptism. Othenathus of Palmyra died, succeeded by Queen Zenobia, who declared independence from Rome. 268. Gallienus was killed by his troops and Marcus Aurelius Claudius who ruled Rome. 270. Claudius II died of the plague and Quintilius ruled Rome, followed by Aurelian. Zenobia invaded Egypt. 272. Aurelian seized Zenobia and destroyed Palmyra. 273. Palmyra fell to Rome. 274. Felix, bishop of Rome, was martyred by Aurelian. 275, Aurelian was murdered and Tacitus ruled Rome. 276, Tacitus was killed by his troops, and Florian ruled Rome. He was murdered and was succeeded by Probus. 282, Probus was killed by his troops and Marcus Aurelius Carus ruled Rome. 283, Carus died. His sons Numerian and Carinus ruled Rome as co-emperors, Numerian over the east and Carinus over the west. 284, Numerian was murdered and Gaius Aurelius Valerius Diocletus ruled Rome. 285, Carinus was killed by his troops in Moravia, and Diocletian ended the diarchy, and began a monarchy in Rome. Marcus Aurelius Carausius proclaimed himself Emperor of Britain. 286, Diocletian issued a decree condemning Christianity. The Theban Legion was formed. Marcus Aurelius Valerius Maximinus was made co-emperor by Diocletian. 293, Constantius was Caesar of the west. Galerius was Caesar of the east. Diocletian was emperor of the east. Constantius was Caesar of Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Carausius was defeated by Alectus, who claimed Britain. 294, Diocletian crushed a revolt in Egypt. 296, the title of Pope was first applied to the Bishop of Rome. Athanasius was born. The Nares of Persia drove Galerius from Mesopotamia. 297, Armenian King Tiridates III was converted to Christianity. Constantius ended the revolt in Britain. The Romans took Armenia from the Persians. 200, Rabbi Jehudah Chaim Asi compiled a Mishnah. Later, the Gemara was added to become the Palestinian Talmud. Sabellius formulated a false doctrine of the Trinity, called Sabellianism, teaching that the Trinity was a manifestation of forms rather than of essence. They were not three persons in the Godhead, but three manifestations, denying separate personalities. Afghanistan was invaded by the Huns. 201, Victory was killed. 202, Tertullian defended the Montanists. Irenaeus of Lyons was beheaded. Leonidas, father of Origen, was martyred. Clement of Alexandria fled. 203, Origines Adamantius, Origen, succeeded Clement at the school at Alexandria at the age of 80, serving the 231. 208, Severus campaigned in Britain and prepared the Hadrian Wall. 211, Severus died at York and Caracalla, his son, ruled Rome. 212, all three men in the Roman Empire were granted Roman citizenship. 213, Tertullian joined the Montanists. 215, Tertullian wrote on versus Praxton stating the doctrine of the Trinity. Clement died. 216, Caracalla annexed Armenia. Mani, founder of Manichaeism, was born in Persia. 217, Caracalla was slain by Marcinus, who succeeded him in Rome. 218, Marcinus died. Avitus, Heliogabalus, priest of the Syrian sun god Adonis, was made emperor of Rome. 219, Calixtus succeeded Cyprianus as bishop of Rome. 220, Tertullian died. The Han dynasty ended in China. The Goths invaded Asia Minor and the Balkans. 222, Urbanine became bishop of Rome. 224, Calixtus, bishop of Rome, was martyred. 225, the Andhra dynasty in India ended as the Satakhani Empire collapsed. 226, the Parthian kingdom ended. The Sassanid dynasty founded a new Persian empire under Adashiri. 228, Origen was ordained a presbyter in Palestine by Alexander of Jerusalem and Theodotus of Caesarea. 230, Origen wrote De Principiis. The earliest known public churches were built. 231, Origen was condemned by Demetrius at the Council of Alexandria. Origen founded a school at Caesarea. 232, Dionysius succeeded Origen as head of the Alexandrian school. Urbanine, bishop of Rome, was martyred. 235, bishops Hippolytus and Pioneus were transported to Sardinia, where they died in the mines. Severus Alexander was assassinated by his troops, and was succeeded by Anarchus Maximinus Thrax. 237, Zevinus, bishop of Antioch, died, and was succeeded by Babylas.
So, in the span of a few centuries, small band of Christians managed to turn the Roman world upside down. There's a lot of things going on in the first century. It's all God's retribution and divine punishment. You had the Jews who refused to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior because they were looking for premillennial kingdom, not a post-millennialist kingdom, and Christ offered them a post-millennialist kingdom. And some knew he was the Messiah and some did not, but they still refused because they preferred their system over whatever else. They preferred their titles and so forth over substance. And they put Christ to death. And God said he would punish them for refusing to accept him as Messiah. Those who knew he was the Messiah, who put him to death for the persecution of Christians, because later on the Jews persecuted Christians, the Romans persecuted Christians, and God had to end the final remnants of the system, the first dispensation of the covenant of grace, the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem 70 AD in Jerusalem. Jews are punished for their wickedness. Later on, Christians got persecuted in the following centuries. The Roman Empire got punished for their wickedness with retribution, and under Constantine, the Roman Empire became a Christian empire. And we read about that in Revelation 20, first few verses, the chapter, just read the whole chapter. So we got a lot going on in history.
Maximinus was assassinated by his troops, and was succeeded by Gordian III. China seized northern Korea. 214. Origen composed the Hexapla, a 6-column compilation of the Hebrew Old Testament, and 5 Greek translations, Aquila, Semekos, Theodorian, the Septuagint, and a transliteration. Shapuri ruled Persia. 241. Shapuri invaded Mesopotamia, and started war with Rome. 242. Many the Persian founded the Manichaeism religion in Persia. The German Alani defeated Gordian near Philippopolis, and settled in Thrace. 243. Furious times Siphius drove the Persian forces from Antioch. 244. Philipus, the Arabian killed Gordian and drew Rome. The Romans defeated the Persians in Mesopotamia. 246. Cyprian, a disciple of Tertullian, became a Christian. 247. Cyprian became bishop over North Africa. The Goths traded across the Danube River. 248. Cyprian became bishop of Carthage. 249. Philipus was killed in battle, and Gaius Messius Decius ruled Rome. 250. Persecution of Christians was general and violent. Fabian, bishop of Rome, was martyred. Decius issued an edict demanding annual sacrifice on Roman altars to the emperor. Plotinus developed the religion of Neoplatonism, and founded a school in Rome. 251. Decius ordered sacrifices to idols in the temple of Ephesus, and was killed in Dacia. CDIDIUS Aphinius TREBONIA in the U.S. Gallus and HOSTILIA in the U.S. Son of Decius, were co-emperors of Rome, until Gallus killed HOSTILIA in the U.S. 253. Stephen, bishop of Rome, excommunicated the bishops of Asia Minor, calling them Anabaptists. Gallus was killed by his troops, and Marcus AEMILIUSAEMILIA in the U.S. ruled Rome, followed by co-emperors PUBLIUSLICI and IUSDALERIA in the U.S., and his son, Gallienus. 254. Origen died from torture in Alexandria. 256. The Franks, Goths, and Alemanni advanced into the Roman Empire. 257. Christians were commanded to conform to the state religion in Rome. The Goths invaded the Black Sea area, and the Franks invaded Spain. 258. Cyprian of Carthage and Sextus of Rome were martyred by Stephen of Rome for rebaptizing. Emperor VALERIA in the U.S. issued a decree that put on Christian clergy in Rome to death. 259. Shapuri of Persia captured Emperor VALERIA in the U.S. in battle. He died in captivity, and Gallienus became sole ruler. 260. Paul of Samosata was bishop of Antioch, and became father of the Paulicians. Eusebius, the church's first real historian, was born. The Goths invaded Greece. Famine in Egypt. Macaria in U.S. ruled Rome with Quietus as co-emperor. 261. Gallienus ruled Rome. 263. OPE and ATHUS of Palmyra defeated Syria and took Mesopotamia from Rome. 267. The Council of Laodicea ordered a reciting of the Creed at baptism. OPE and ATHUS of Palmyra died, succeeded by Queen Zenobia, who declared independence from Rome. 268. Gallienus was killed by his troops and Marcus Aurelius Claudius II ruled Rome. 270. Claudius II died of the plague and Quintilius ruled Rome, followed by Aurelian. Zenobia invaded Egypt. 272. Aurelian seized Zenobia and destroyed Palmyra. 273. Palmyra fell to Rome. 274. Felix, Bishop of Rome, was martyred by Aurelian. 275. Aurelian was murdered and Tacitus ruled Rome. 276. Tacitus was killed by his troops, and Florian ruled Rome. He was murdered and was succeeded by Probus. 282. Probus was killed by his troops and Marcus Aurelius Carus ruled Rome. 283. Carus died. His sons Numerian and Carinus ruled Rome as co-emperors, Numerian over the east and Carinus over the west. 284. Numerian was murdered and Gaius Aurelius Valerius Diocletia and U.S. ruled Rome. 285. Carinus was killed by his troops in Moravia, and Diocletian ended the diarchy and began a monarchy in Rome. Marcus Aurelius Carausius proclaimed himself Emperor of Britain. 286. Diocletian issued a decree condemning Christianity. The Theban Legion was formed. Marcus Aurelius Valerius Maximinus was made co-emperor by Diocletian. 293. Constantius was Caesar of the west. Galerius was Caesar of the east. Diocletian was emperor of the east. Constantius was Caesar of Britain, Gaul, and Spain. Carausius was defeated by Alectus, who claimed Britain. 294. Diocletian crushed a revolt in Egypt. 296. The title of Pope was first applied to the Bishop of Rome. Athanasius was born. The Nairesias of Persia drove Galerius from Mesopotamia. 297. Armenian King Tiridates III was converted to Christianity. Constantius ended the revolt in Britain. The Romans took Armenia from the Persians.
Now we're up to 300 AD.
The See of Echmiason, root of the Armenian Church, was organized by Gregory. Writing material was changed from papyrus to parchment. 302. The Council of Elvira met. 303. Diocletian issued an edict for the persecution of Christians. He ordered cessation of meetings, destruction of churches, deposition of officers, imprisonment of believers, and destruction of the scriptures. They were punished by loss of property, exile, imprisonment, execution by the sword or wild beasts. Many were sent to labor camps where they were worked to death in the mines. Multitudes perished, about 10,000 of these in Britain. 305. Diocletian and Maximian abdicated and retired. Galerius and Constantius succeeded them in Rome. 306. Constantius died and the army proclaimed his son Constantinus I, Constantine the Great, Emperor of Rome. He agreed to be Caesar to Flavius Valerius Stabilis. Maximian again ruled Rome. Maxentius, son of Maximian, killed Stabilis. 307. Licinius was made emperor by Galerius. Rome had 6 emperors. 308. Quirinus, bishop of Cissa, was martyred. Maxentius ruled Rome. 310. Marcellus, bishop of Rome, was martyred. Maximian died. 311. Galerius issued an edict tolerating Christianity. Ulfilas, missionary to the Goths, was born. Peter, bishop of Alexandria, was martyred. The Basilica of St. John Lateran was built in Rome. The Donatists separated themselves from the growing apostasy. Galerius died. Valerius Licinius was emperor. 312. Constantine's vision of a fiery red cross in the sky began the imperial age. Constantine defeated Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge. 313. Constantine issued the Edict of Milan, granting freedom of religious worship and restoring Christians' property. Christian clergy were exempted from the military and from taxation. Licinius became co-emperor with Constantine. 314, the Council of Bishops at Arles condemned the Donatist position on sacraments and recognized Rome's primacy in the Christian Church. The doctrine of baptismal regeneration was established. Death by crucifixion was abolished by Constantine. 315, Christian slaves were freed. Constantine made conversion from Christianity to Judaism a penal offense. 316, the first civil observance of Sunday. Constantine ruled against the Donatists and closed their churches. Martin of Tours, patron saint of France, was born in Hungary. 317, the Qin dynasty came to power in China. 320, Achilles founded monasticism at Tabanizai in Egypt. Chandragupta founded the Gupta dynasty in India. 321, Constantine declared Sunday a day of rest. 323, Eusebius completed ecclesiastical history. Constantine conquered Licinius and became the sole emperor of Rome. 324, the Council of the Liberians was held in Spain. Pope Sylvester I consecrated the Basilica of St. Peter and St. Paul's without the wall on November 18. The Roman Empire was divided by the Roman Senate. Rome was the capital of the West. Old Byzantium, renamed Constantinople, was the capital of the East. 325, the Council of Nicaea with 318 bishops present was called by Constantine. The Arian controversy was arbitrated and the deity of Christ was settled. The Nicene Creed was presented. The Trinity was established as God the Father, the Virgin Mary, and Messiah their Son. Sunday was established as the day of worship. A fixed date was set for the observance of Easter. The Quartodecimans disputed the date of Easter, holding its celebration on the same day the Jews observed Passover. The Vatican manuscript was produced. The Church of the Nativity was built in Bethlehem. 326, Helena, mother of Constantine, visited Palestine and found the true cross. 328, Athanasius became Bishop of Alexandria in Egypt. Eusebius persuaded Constantine to recall Arius from exile. The seat of the Roman Empire was moved from Rome to Constantinople. 329, Basil, who became Bishop of Caesarea and Archbishop of all Cappadocia, was born. 330, the Sinaitic manuscript was produced. Athanasius retired as Bishop of Alexandria and was replaced by Arius. 336, Christmas on December 25th was converted to a Christian holy day. 337, Constantine died May 22nd at age 66, succeeded by his three sons, Constans in Italy, Constantius II in the east, Constantine II in the west. Chapter 2 of Persia defeated the Roman forces. 338, the Jewish calendar was improved. 340, Eusebius died. The Apostle Creed first appeared in Rome. Athanasius introduced monasticism to Christendom. Ambrose, who became Bishop of Milan, was born. Constantine II was killed by Constans. 341, Ulfilas became Bishop of the Goths. 345, John Chrysostom was born in Antioch, Syria. 347, Sophronius Eusebius Hieronymus Jerome was born in Stridon. 350, Cyril became Bishop of Jerusalem. Christmas was adopted as a Christian festival. Ulfilas translated the Bible into Gothic for the Goths. Persia regained Armenia from Rome. Constans was killed by Flavius Magnus Magnentius and Constantius II became sole emperor. 354, Augustinus Aurelius. Augustine was born to Patricus Augustinus and Monica on November 13th in Targas, Algeria, North Africa. 356, Constantius II made Julian the apostate Caesar. Antony died. 360, Julian rebelled against Constantius II and gave the Jews permission to rebuild their Jerusalem temple. Scrolls were replaced by bound books. The Huns invaded Europe. 361, Constantius II died, succeeded by Julian as emperor. Julian attempted to make Neoplatonism a religion of the empire. 363, Julian revoked permission to the Jews to build their temple. 364, Jovian died, succeeded by Valentinian I in the west and his brother Valens in the east. Valens persecuted the Athanasians. 366, Jerome was baptized. Damascus won the Roman bishopric over Ursinus. 367, Athanasius, Bishop Bishop of Alexandria, wrote his 39th festal letter and listed the present 27 New Testament books we now have. Gratian became co-emperor with his father, Valentinian IX. 368, John Chrysostom was baptized and became a monk, living in a mountain cave. 369, a peace treaty was signed between Rome and the invading Gauls. Theodosius drove the Picts and Scots from Britain. 370, the first record of infant baptism, as Emperor Valens' son, Gelasius, was baptized on the emperor's order. Basil the Great, one of the Cappadocian fathers, became Bishop of Caesarea. 371, war between Rome and Persia. 373, Athanasius died at Alexandria at age 78. 374, Ambrose became Bishop of Milan and introduced the singing of hymns. 375, the Dark Ages began. Ulphilas began his work among the Gauls. Jerome had a vision of Antioch. Valentinian I died and his son Gratian ruled as Emperor of the West. With Valentinian II, his half-brother, in India, Samudragupta died, succeeded by Chandragupta II. 376, Augustine went to Rome to teach. The Goths were overrun by the Huns. The Huns invaded Russia. 378, the Pope of Rome fell heir to two keys from the pagan divinities Janus and Cybele and became the supreme pontiff of the Babylonian order. Valens died at the Battle of Adrianople against the Huns, and Theodosius the Great became joint emperor with Gratian. 379, Jerome was ordained. Basil the Great died. Chapter 2 of Persia died. 380, the Edict of Theodosius I made Christianity the exclusive religion in the Roman Empire. Amphilochius of Iconium produced the earliest list to correspond exactly to our New Testament in both order and content. The Council of Sardis prohibited reservation of the Eucharist. 381, the Council of Constantinople, called by Theodosius to deal with Arianism, was attended by 150 bishops. They asserted the personality of the Holy Spirit, established the worship of the Virgin Mary as the Mother of God, and declared the Montanists as pagans. The true deity of Christ was made an article of Christian faith. 382, Jerome became secretary to Damascus, Bishop of Rome. 383, Theodore of Mopsuestia was ordained a presbyter in Antioch. Ulphilas died. Jerome was commissioned to make a Latin Bible. The Romans evacuated Britain. Maximus, Emperor of the West, seized Gaul and killed Gratian. Famine in Rome. 384, Siricius claimed universal jurisdiction and formally adopted the title of Pope. Augustine went to Milan to teach. Damascus died. 385, Jerome translated the New Testament from Hebrew to Latin, a work which was completed in 404. 386, Augustine was converted to Christianity. John Chrysostom was ordained a priest. Hymn singing was introduced by Ambrose of Milan. The Basilica of St. Paul was enlarged in Rome. Tatars established the Wei dynasty in China. 387, Augustine was baptized on Easter Sunday by Ambrose in Milan. Magnus forced Valentinian II from Italy. 388, Theodosius killed Magnus. 389, Patrick was born. Gregory of Nazianzen died. 390, Theodosius massacred the Thessalonians after a revolt. 391, Augustine ministered in Hippo. 392, Theodore was Bishop of Mopsuestia in Cilicia. The Egyptian Aetobius went to Jerusalem and attacked Jerome and Rufinus as Origenists. Arvagast killed Valentinian II. 393, the Council of Hippo accepted the Old Testament as canonical. 394, Epiphanius, Bishop of Cyprus, went to Jerusalem to crush Origenism. Theodosius killed Eugenius and became sole ruler of Rome. 395, Christianity was recognized as the official and only religion of the Roman state. Roman dominion of Christianity split. Theodosius died. Arcadius became emperor of the East and Honorius became emperor of the West. 396, Augustine became Bishop of Hippo in North Africa. Martin of Tours died. 397, the Council of Carthage confirmed the New Testament canon. Ambrose died. The Visigoths were expelled from Greece by the Vandals. 398, Telesman went from Lutheran Church in Italy and organized a church at Pontifici at the foot of the Alps in France. John Chrysostom was made Patriarch of Constantinople.
Well, we see the continuation, like the scripture says in Revelation 20 and various other places, Psalm 2, Psalm 22, Psalm 72. The world will slowly and gradually be Christianized, ushering a golden age of peace and prosperity. And so we see that taking place, but it's also important to note there is periods of regression for the church and periods of recession for the church, and consequently will lead some souls to hell. But in the end, when everything's said and done, there'll be more saved. And so we start seeing the Romanization coming more and more identified closer to the Catholic type of church. So now, 400 AD.
400, Emperor Honorius and Bishop Anastasius of Rome both condemned Origenism, the first records of Japanese history, as they adopted Chinese writing. 401, Innocent I was Bishop of Rome. Alaric and the Visigoths invaded Italy. 403, John Chrysostom was condemned on false charges. 404, John Chrysostom was banished by Empress Eudoxia. Jerome completed the Latin Vulgate. Man against man games were prohibited in Rome. 406, the Burgundian kingdom of Worms was founded. 407, John Chrysostom died in exile. Roman troops abandoned Britain. Avars established the first Mongolian Empire. 408, Theodosius II ruled the East. Alaric invaded Italy and besieged Rome. 409, Vasili established a kingdom in Spain. Persia permitted Christians freedom of worship. 410, the Roman Catholic Church began its rule as Rome was sacked by Alaric and his Visigoths. Roman rule in Britain ended. 411, Augustus wrote the City of God. Theodosius II ordered the Donatist bishops of Africa and the Catholic bishops of Carthage to a conference. Alaric died in Italy. 412, Ataulf became leader of the Visigoths. 414, Cyril became Patriarch of Alexandria. 416, infant baptism became compulsory. Augustine baptized newborn infants in Africa. An African council was held at Mena. Only Christians were allowed to serve in the Roman army. The Visigoths invaded Spain and drove out the Vandals. 417, Pope Innocent I introduced infant communion. Pelagius was excommunicated. 418, Theodoric I became king of the Visigoths. 419, the Council of Carthage met. Jerome died. 420, the Qin dynasty ended and the Sung dynasty began in China. 421, Constantius III became co-emperor of the West. Rome warred with Persia. 422, Pope Celestine I asserted papal supremacy. 423, Honorius died at Ravenna and Johannes became emperor. 425, Rabbi Gamaliel, last president of the Sanhedrin, died. Johannes was killed by his troops and Valentinian III became emperor of the West. 426, the Mongol kingdom was established in Spain. 428, Nestorius became Patriarch of Constantinople. 429, Genseric led the Vandals to overrun Africa and set up a 100-year kingdom. 430, Augustine died at the hands of the Vandals on August 28. Nestorius was ordered to recant by Celestine, Bishop of Rome, on the Mother of God issue. 431, the Council of Ephesus, called by Theodosius II and Valentin III and attended by 250 bishops, emphasized the unity of Christ's personality. Mary, over the opposition of Nestorius, was first declared the Mother of God. 432, Patrick went to Ireland and worked among the Celts for 29 years, to 461. The Basilica of St. Maria Maggiore was built in Rome. 433, Attila ruled the Huns. 436, the last Roman troops left Britain. Aetius defeated the Visigoths. The Huns destroyed Worms. 438, Theodosius II compiled the Theodosian Code of civil law for the Roman Empire. 439, the Vandals in Africa took Carthage. 440, Leo I became Bishop of Rome, assumed the title of Pope and attacked the Manichaean heresy. 443, Gay Isaac established a monarchy in Africa. 444, Cyril, Patriarch of Alexandria, died, succeeded by Dioscorus. 448, Merope, king of the Salian Franks, established the Merovingian dynasty. 449, the Council of Ephesus debated the two natures of Christ. Jutish leaders Hengist and Horse invaded Kent in Britain. 450, Theodosius II died, succeeded by...
And we see thought being developed, light of through people's thoughts and understanding developed through the light of creation, light of conscience, and special revelation.
His brother-in-law Marcion as Emperor of the East. 451, the Council of Chalcedon, with 630 bishops present, approved the New Testament. The doctrine of Mariolatry was adopted. The two natures of Christ and their relationship one to the other were settled, asserting that Christ was complete in Godhead and complete in manhood, truly God and truly man, having two natures, without confusion, without change, without division, without separation. Leo the Great declared Roman primacy. The Mongols, led by Attila the Hun, were driven back at the Battle of Chillons in Gaul. 452, Attila invaded Italy. Venice was founded. 453, Attila the Hun died after a drunken debauch. 454, the Ostrogoths settled western Hungary, Pannonia. 455, the Vandals sacked Rome. Scandagupta was Emperor of India. Valentinian III died, succeeded by Petronius and Avitus. 456, the Jutes, Angles and Saxons settled in Britain. Majorian became Emperor of the West and Marcion was Emperor of the East. Childeric I was King of the Franks. 457, Leo I was Emperor of the East. 460, Cologne was captured by the Franks. 461, Patrick of Ireland died on March 17th and was buried at Downpatrick in Northern Ireland. Pope Leo I died. Lyon became the capital of Burgundy. Severus ruled the West. 466, Euric the Visigoth murdered his brother Theodoric II and became king of Toulouse. 467, Anthemius became emperor of the West. 470, the Huns withdrew from Europe. 471, Theodoric the Great became king of the Ostrogoths and invaded the Balkans. 472, Olybrius became emperor of the West. 473, Glycerius became emperor of the West, succeeded by Julius Nepos. 474, Leo II died and Zeno became emperor of the East. 475, Romulus Augustulus, son of Julius Nepos, became the last Roman emperor of the West. 476, the Western Roman Empire ended and the kingdom of Italy was set up on August 23rd. The German Odoacer became king. The Middle Ages began. 477, the Sussex Kingdom was founded. Huneric, king of the Vandals, persecuted the Catholics. 478, Shintoism began in Japan. 479, the Sung dynasty ended the Qi dynasty ruled China. 480, Benedict of Nursia, founder of the Benedictines, was born. 481, religious freedom was established in Armenia. Clovis became king of the Franks. 482, Bulgarians settled northeast of the Danube River. 484, division came between the Western and Eastern churches as the Roman Pope excommunicated Patriarch Acacius of Constantinople. Vandal King Huneric died. 486, Clovis defeated the Romans of Soissons. 487, Theodoric began his conquest of Italy and threatened Constantinople. 491, the Armenian Church separated from both Byzantium and Rome. Zeno was succeeded by Anastasius as Emperor of the East. 492, Gelasius of Africa became Pope. 493, Theodoric founded the Ostrogoth kingdom in Italy. 496, Clovis, king of the Franks, was converted to Christianity and was baptized by Remigius, Bishop of Rheims, unifying the Franks in modern France. Vandal King Guntamund died, succeeded by Thrasimund. 498, Symmachus became Pope. Fergus was crowned first king of Argyll. The Babylonian Talmud was compiled. Incense was first used in church services. First plans for the Vatican Palace in Rome were prepared. The British won victory over the Saxons. 502, the Liang dynasty began in China with Wu Ti as emperor. 503, Persia was at war with Byzantium. 507, Clovis annexed the Visigoth kingdom of Toulouse. 511, Clovis died and his 4 sons divided his kingdom. 512, Anastasius I built the Anastasian wall from the Black Sea to the Sea of Marmara. 513, the Persians defeated the Huns. 514, Hormisdas became Pope. 516, Sigismund became King of Burgundy. 517, the Council of Gironde was held at Catalonia, Spain. The first record of infant baptism in Spain. Emperor Wu Ti of China became a Buddhist. 518, Anastasius I died, succeeded by Justinus I. 519, the Council of Orleans agreed lengthy before Easter. 521, Columba was born at Donegal, Ireland. 523, John I became Pope. 524, Boethius, Christian philosopher, died after completing Consolation of Philosophy. 526, King Theodoric the Great of Italy died. 527, Justinian succeeded his uncle Justinus as Byzantine emperor and set about annexing the west. The Church of the Nativity was rebuilt in Bethlehem. 528, Korea revolted against Japan. 529, the Synod of Orange accepted Augustine's view of salvation. Benedict of Nursia founded the monastery of Monte Cassino and the Benedictine order. Emperor Justinian closed Plato's Academy of Neoplatonism at Athens. The Battle of Arras was fought between the Romans and the Persians. 530, Pope Felix IV was succeeded by Boniface II. Emperor Justinian founded the monastery of St. Catherine on Mount Sinai. 531, Chosroes I, Enusha I the Just, became king of Persia. 532, Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, the largest surviving church of ancient times, was begun. Child of a king of Paris, conquered Gom, king of Burgundy. Constantinople was destroyed during a Nicene revolt. 533, Pope Boniface II was succeeded by John II. The Justinian Code of Civil Laws was compiled by Tribonian. 534, the Vandal kingdom fell to the lies Arius. 535, Agabus I became Pope. 536, Silverius became Pope. Justinian built the Mosque of Aqsa in Jerusalem. The Monophysite Copts separated from the Melchites, Greek Orthodox Christians. 537, Vigilius became Pope. King Arthur was killed in the Battle of Camlan. 538, the German Lombards conquered northern Italy and founded a kingdom under Alboin. 539, war between Persia and the Byzantine Empire. 540, Cassiodorus founded the monastery of Vivarium. Persia invaded Syria. Byzantine rule ended in Italy. 541, Totila became king of the Ostrogoths. 542, rats from Egypt started the bubonic plague in Constantinople and spread over all of Europe. 543, Justinian issued an edict condemning the writings of religion. Disastrous earthquakes shook the whole world. 546, Baudoin founded a new Lombard dynasty. Totila entered Rome. 547, the bubonic plague reached Britain. 548, Aidan was king of Argyll. 550, David brought Roman Christianity to Wales. Church bells were first used in France. The crucifix was first developed as an ornament. Totila conquered Rome. 551, Columba was ordained to the priesthood. Jacobandus organized the Jacobite Monophysites in Syria. 552, Buddhism was introduced to Japan by Emperor Shotokuchi. Totila was killed in the Battle of Teigini, succeeded by Teaius, the last king of the Ostrogoths. The Asuka period of Japanese history began. the European silk industry began as Justinian smuggled silkworms from China and Ceylon. 553, Justinian called the Council of Constantinople with 165 bishops present to deal with the Monophysite dispute. Narses annexed Romans Naples. 554, Persia defeated the Huns. Belisarius invaded Spain. 556, Pelagius I became Pope. The Y dynasty ended in China. 558, Lothair, Clotaire I, reunited the kingdom of the Franks. 559, Belisarius defeated the Huns near Constantinople. 560, Ethelbert I of Kent became Anglo-Saxon king. The Abbey of Bangor, Wales, was founded. 561, John III became Pope. 563, Columba, Apostle of Scotland, founded the ministry on the Isle of Iona. 565, Columba converted the Pictish King Brude of Scotland to Christianity. Justinian I died, succeeded by his nephew, Justin II. 567, the kingdom of the Franks was divided into Lorraine, Belgium, France and Burgundy. 570, Muhammad was born Tubla and Aminu at Mecca in Arabia. The Lombards invaded Italy. The Persians overthrew Abyssinian rule in Yemen. 572, war between Persia and the Byzantine Empire. 573, Gregory the Great was made prefect of Rome. 575, Benedict I became Pope. 576, the Turks and Byzantines unsuccessfully invaded Persia. 577, the Roman See became independent of the Emperor. 578, Justin II died, succeeded by Tiberius II. 579, Pelagius II became Pope. Enushir I of Persia died, succeeded by Hormisdas IV. Gregory the Great became ambassador to Constantinople. 581, Yanqian ruled China and founded the Sui dynasty. 582, Tiberius II was succeeded by Moripios. 584, Kirk became the first king of Bulgaria. Ortari became the first king of the Lombards. Lothair became king of Neustria. 585, Gregory the Great became abbot of St. Andrew's Monastery. 586, King Leovigild of Spain died, succeeded by Ricard. 587, Japan Emperor Yomai became a Buddhist. 589, the Council of Toledo dealt with the relationship of the Trinity. King Ricard of Spain was converted to Catholicism. China was reunited. The Persians defeated the Turks. 590, Gregory I, the Great, became Pope, calling himself God's consul and claiming unchallenged supremacy over other bishops. Ancient church history ended and medieval church history. The Middle Ages began. Plague in Rome. Agiliulf, Duke of Turin, ruled the Lombards in Italy. Chosroes II ruled Persia. 594, the bubonic plague ended in Europe after one-half the total population had died since 542. 595, Muhammad married Khadijah, a wealthy widow. 596, Pope Gregory the Great sent Augustine of Canterbury to Britain as the first archbishop. 597, Augustine landed in Britain. King Ethelbert of Kent became a Roman Christian. Columba was found dead before the altar in his church. Austin, a Roman Catholic monk, went to Britain and found Welsh Baptists there, with many churches and a college. 598, the first English school was established at Canterbury. Pope Gregory I attempted to convert the Jews. Picture books of the Bible were introduced for the illiterate. Isidore became Bishop of Seville. Smallpox spread from India to southern Europe. 602, Vickers killed Maurice and ruled in Constantinople. 603, the Lombards were converted to Catholicism. St. Paul's Church in London was built by King Ethelbert of Kent. 604, Pope Gregory I drew up a liturgy for infant baptism. Sardinian became Pope. The first church bell was used in Rome. The library at Alexandria was destroyed by the Saracens. 606, Muhammad's daughter Fatima was born. 607, the first Japanese ambassadors went to China. 608, Boniface IV became Pope. 610, Muhammad's Night of Power vision on Mount Hira launched him as the Prophet of Allah. Episcopal rings were first used. Isidore of Spain published a treatise on officers of the Church. The Irish monk Columbanus brought the Lombards from Arian Christianity to the faith of Rome. Sergius became Patriarch of Constantinople. 611, Muhammad established the new religion of Islam. The Persians sacked Antioch. 612, King Sykes of Spain compelled 90,000 Jews to be baptized. The Persians invaded Cappadocia. 613, Lothair II visited Austrasia and Burgundy and united the Frankish kingdom. 614, the Persians invaded Syria, taking Damascus and proceeding to capture Jerusalem and Palestine from Byzantine rule. Chosroes II gave the Jews possession of Jerusalem. 615, Duskidid became Pope. Petroleum, burning water, was first used in Japan. 616, the Persians overran Egypt. Adar I was king of the Lombards. 617, the Persians threatened Constantinople. 618, the Tang dynasty began in China. 619, Boniface V became Pope. The Persians invaded Egypt. King Kurt of Bulgaria accepted Christianity. 620, the Persians took Rhodes and Ainsira. Ireland was invaded by Northmen. 621, the Persians again threatened Constantinople. 622, Muhammad fled from Mecca to Yazd, Medina, 280 miles, called the Hijra, arriving September 24th. This became the first year of the Muslim calendar. 623, Frank Samur founded the empire of Slav tribes in Carinthia. The Byzantines invaded Armenia. 624, Muhammad married Aisha, the 10-year-old daughter of Abu Bakr. Muhammad defeated the Meccan force. 625, Honorius I became Pope. Heraclius repelled the attack on Constantinople by Abbas and the Persians. 626, Heraclius had a conference with Cyrus, Bishop of Phasis. 627, Muhammad's enemies from Mecca besieged Medina, killing 700 Jews. Edwin became the first Christian king of Northumbria in Britain. Titus became emperor of China. Heraclius invaded Assyria and Mesopotamia. 628, Heraclius won back the cross of Christ from the Persians. Chosroes II of Persia was murdered by his son Khazar II, who ruled in his stead. The Persians were defeated at Nineveh. Roman Byzantine rule was restored. 629, Chinese Buddhist monk Sang began his pilgrimage to India. Heraclius made Athanasius Patriarch of Antioch. Theodoric became king of the Franks. 630, Muhammad invaded and captured Mecca. First publication of the Quran. Heraclius made Cyrus Patriarch of Alexandria. Cotton was first introduced to the Arabs. 632, Muhammad died at Medina on June 8th, succeeded by his father-in-law, Abu Bakr. Buddhism became the state religion in Tibet. 633, at the Council of Toledo, single immersion was adopted by Pope Gregory. Damascus was besieged by the Arabs. 634, Wilfrid, who turned England toward Roman Catholicism, was born. Aidan was Bishop of Northumbria. Sophronius was Patriarch of Jerusalem. Abu Bakr died, succeeded by Omar. Jerusalem was invaded by the Arabs. Yezdegerd III ruled Persia. 635, Emperor Titan received Christian missionaries in China. Amman, capital of Jordan, was conquered by the Arabs. 636, Isidore of Seville, last of the Church Fathers, died. Syria fell to the Arabs. Damascus became the Muslim capital. 637, Jerusalem fell to the Arabs. 638, King Rotharius compiled a code of Lombard law for Italy. 639, the Arabs conquered Mesopotamia. 640, Severinus and John IV succeeded as popes. Caesarea fell to the Arabs, giving them control of Palestine. The Arabs conquered Egypt. 641, the Arabs defeated the Persians at the Battle of Nihamed. Omar found the Alexandria library with 300,000 scrolls and destroyed the book copying industry. Heraclius I died, succeeded by his grandson, Constans II. 642, Theodore I became Pope. The Arabs conquered the Persian Empire. 643. The Arabs conquered Tripoli and occupied Egypt. 644. Omar was murdered, succeeded by Uthman. China invaded Korea. 645. Fujiwara deposed the Soga clan in Japan. 646. The Byzantine fleet recaptured Alexandria from the Arabs. 647. The Arabs marched across North Africa. 649. The Lateran Council asserted the doctrine of two wills. Martin I was Pope. The Arabs conquered Cyprus. 650. The Paulicians were founded by Constantine of Manlis. The Buddhist monk Bhartrihari rewrote 100 proverbs. Caliph Uthman put the Quran into 114 chapters. The Hindu Empire ruled Sumatra. 651. Persia was occupied by the Arabs. 653. The Arabs conquered Armenia. 655. Martin, Bishop of Rome, was martyred. Eugene I was Pope. The Arabs destroyed the Byzantine fleet off Anatolia. 656. Caliph Uthman was murdered, succeeded by Ali. The Franks were ruled by Lothair III. 657. Vitalian became Pope. 658. Babylon became the spiritual center of Judaism. Muawiyah, governor of Syria, seized Egypt. 661. Ali was murdered and Muawiyah became caliph. Damascus became the capital of the Arab Empire. 663. Celtic Christians from Scotland acknowledged the authority of the Pope. Constans II transferred court to Italy as the Arabs ravaged Asia Minor. The Japanese abandoned Korea. 664. Roman Catholicism became the faith of England at the Synod of Whitby, a plague-ravaged Saxon England. 668. Buddhism and Shintoism were united in Japan. Constans II was killed, succeeded by his son Constantine IV. 669. Theodore of Tarsus, Archbishop of Canterbury, organized the Anglo-Roman Church. 670. The Arabs held North Africa to Algeria. 671. Adromitus came from the Pontificacy Church and organized the Church at Dacia. 672.
And so we see in history, as we're getting here, that the 8th day creation, the 6th day creation are taking on different characteristics from each other that develop distinction from each other.
And Eudaicus too became Pope. 673. The first synod of the English Church was held. Civil war in the kingdom of the Franks. The Arabs unsuccessfully besieged Constantinople. 674. Glass windows were first installed in English churches. 675. The Bulgarian Empire was established. The Slavs assaulted Thessalonica. 676. Donus became Pope. The Arabs advanced to Samarkand in Central Asia. 678. Agathon was Pope. Wilfrid preached in Friesland and won their allegiance to the papacy. 680. Emperor Constantinus Phovenatus called the Council of Constantinople, which condemned the Monothelites' doctrine of the human and divine will of Christ, stating that the two wills of Christ exist in him in a harmonious unity in which the human will is subject to the divine will. Pope Honorius was deposed and excommunicated. When Muhammad's grandson Hussein was killed at Karbala, Islam was divided between the Sunnis and the Shiites. 681. Leo II became Pope. 683. John, Bishop of Bergamo, was martyred. 684. Benedict II became Pope. Marwan became leader of the Arabs. 685. John V became Pope. The Picts of Scotland defeated the Northumbrians at the Battle of Nicknesmere. Efrith died in Britain. Marwan I died, succeeded by Abdul-Malik. Constantine IV died, succeeded by his son Justinian II.
And so we see, just like in the Old Testament, the house of Israel, the house of Judah, and the 6th day creation repeating the same patterns that we see out throughout history, all the way to present day time.
686. Guinan became Pope. Sussex was converted to Christianity. 687. Sergius I became Pope. Bishop Kilian of Wurzburg executed Bishop Cuthbert in Lindisfarne. Pepin was mayor of the palace. Testri united the Franks. 688. Construction began on the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. Charles Martel was born. 691. The Dome of the Rock and the Mosque of Omar were completed by the Moslems on the Jerusalem temple site. Clovis III was king of all Franks. 692. The Quinine Sixth Council at Constantinople settled the biblical canon of the Eastern Church and affirmed the equality of the Pope of Rome and the Patriarch of Constantinople. 693. The Arabs defeated Justinian II at Cilicia. 694. The last of 40 ecclesiastical synods was held in Spain. 695. The Jews were persecuted in Spain. Leontius replaced Justinian II over the Byzantine Empire. Childebert III was king of the Franks. 697. The Northern Ireland Church became Roman Catholic. The Arabs destroyed Carthage. 698. Leontius was deposed by Tiberius II. Babylon became the spiritual center of Judaism.
700 Psalms were translated into Anglo-Saxon. Easter eggs were first used by Christians. Willibr became the first Christian missionary to Denmark. Greek replaced Latin as the official language of the Eastern Roman Empire. 701 John V. I became Pope. Mikado became the sole proprietor of all land in Japan. 705 John V. I became Pope. The Great Mosque was built in the Damascus. 707 Pope John V. I claimed universal authority. 708 Sisrnius and Constantine became popes. 710 the Sandin Emperor Justinian I became the first emperor to kiss the Pope's foot. Nara became Japan's first permanent capital. 711 Justinian I was murdered by Philippicu who succeeded him. Spain became an Arab state. 712 Pope Constantine opposed Philippicu on Monothelite heresy. The Organization of Spain, conquering Seville.
India was established as a Muslim state. 713, Anastasius II ruled the Byzantine Empire. Ming Wang was emperor of China. 714, a pure democracy began in Navarre that lasted 86 years. 750, Gregory II became pope. The Anglo-Saxon missionary Boniface preached in Germany. Charles Martel was mayor of the palace. 716, the Arabs conquered Lisbon. 770, the Isaurian Leo III ruled the Byzantine Empire. 718, Constantinople was besieged by the Arabs on the Bosphorus. 720, Emperors Leo III and Constantine the opposed the use of images in the Byzantine churches. The Arabs crossed the Pyrenees into France. 721, Jews, fleeing persecution from Leo III, settled in the Crimea. 723, Caliph Jedid had all pictures removed from churches. 724, Caliph Hisham ibn Abdul Malik built a lavish palace at Jericho. The Arabs invaded India. 725, Boniface felled the donor oak tree, destroying old Germanic heathen beliefs. The Arabs ravaged South France. Charles Martel crossed the Rhine and conquered Bavaria. 726, a controversy between the emperor and the Pope over image worship. 730, Pope Gregory II excommunicated the emperor. Patriarch Germanus was deposed from Constantinople. 731, a Roman synod of 93 bishops, called by Pope Gregory III, excommunicated the iconoclasts. Bede's ecclesiastical history was first published. Ethelbald ruled Britain. 732, Charles Martel turned the Arabs back at the Battle of Tours. 733, Emperor Leo III removed southern Italy from papal jurisdiction. Charles Martel conquered the Saracens. 735, the English historian Bede translated John from Latin to English and died. Charles Martel conquered Burgundy. Alcuin, who became Charlemagne's personal tutor and advisor in religious matters, was born. 737, Child Eric III became king of the Franks. 738, Archer Fladen went from the Dorothea Church and organized the Central Church in Asia Minor. 739, the Saracens were driven from the province. The Byzantines crushed the Arabs in Anatolia. 714, the first Jews settled in England. The Central European nation of Khazari was converted to Judaism. A great earthquake hit Asia Minor. 741, Zecharias became Pope. Charles Martel died, succeeded by his sons Pepin the Short and Carloman. Leo III died, and Constantine VCOPRONYMUS ruled Rome. 742, Charlemagne was born to Pepin the Short. 745, Constantine V defeated the Arabs in Syria. 747, PADMASAMBHADA established Buddhism in Tibet. Pepin the Short became sole ruler of the Franks. 748, the first newspaper was printed in Peking, China. The Arab fleet was destroyed at Cyprus. 749, John of Damascus, last of the Greek church fathers, died. 750, the Shiites overthrew the Umayyad dynasty. The Abbasid dynasty ruled the Muslim empire as Abu al-Abbas became Caliph of Arabia and moved the capital from Damascus to Baghdad. 751, the Arabs took Western Asia from China. 752, Stephen II and Stephen III were popes. Pepin III was crowned emperor. 754, Pepin was crowned the first Carolingian king of the Franks by Pope Stephen III. The Pope created papal states. Al-Mansur became the Arab Caliph. 755, Boniface, father of the German Church, was martyred. Pouring was first substituted for immersion in baptism. The Pope became the temporal prince. The Lombards surrendered to Pepin III. The Byzantine Empire warred with the Bulgarians. 756, AEAR Roman established the throne of Cordoba in Spain. Caliph Mansur assisted HSUANTSUNG crush a rebellion in China. Pepin III gave the Byzantine lands in Italy to the papacy. 757, Paul I became Pope. 759, the Franks captured Narbonne from the Arabs. 764, Theokwyo defeated Nakamura for power in Japan. 765, the Tibetan army invaded China. 768, Pepin III died, succeeded by his two sons, Charlemagne and Carloman, who reigned jointly. 771, Carloman died and Charlemagne, Charles the Great, became sole ruler of the Franks. 772, Charlemagne imposed tithes to support the clergy, the church, schools, and the poor. 773, Charlemagne invaded Italy. 774, Charlemagne brought the Lombard kingdom to an end. 775, Byzantine Emperor Leo IV subdued the Bulgarians. 777, Charlemagne invaded Spain. Jacob I. B. Anteric imported the astronomical tables of the Hindus to Baghdad. 778, Charlemagne was defeated by the Basques in the Pyrenees. 779, Appa of Mercia was king of all England. 708, the monastery of St. Mary Drobona was established in Asturias. Leo IV died, succeeded by Constantine VI, age 9, who, through his mother Irene, restored image worship. 781, Charlemagne developed an educational system. Pepin, son of Charlemagne, was crowned king of Italy by Pope Hadrian I. 782, Charlemagne executed 4,500 Saxon hostages at Verdun. The Arabs threatened Constantinople. 786, Harun al-Rashid became Caliph of the Arabs. 787, Empress Irene called the Council of Nicaea and established image and saint worship. The English church text sent to the Pope, known as Peter's Pence, was begun. The Danes invaded Britain. The Arabs invaded Afghanistan. 788, Charlemagne annexed Bavaria. The seat of the kingdom was established in Morocco. 789, Constantine I became king of Scotland. 790, Irish monks discovered Iceland. 791, Constantine imprisoned his mother Irene for cruelty. 792, Vikings attacked Lindisfarne, England. 794, Charlemagne called the Frankish Council and condemned image worship. The Vikings pillaged Scotland. Heim, Kyoto, became Japan's capital. 795, Leo III became Pope. Charlemagne marched on Seine. Egypt revolted. The Danes attacked Ireland. 797, Irene overthrew and blinded her son Constantine and assumed power.